Okay, so in this problem we are given a cell array of strings, and then we will convert these strings into numbers. We are given patient's gender and blood glucose levels. The gender information is not consistently given, so it can be an F or female, and the male and males can be recorded as a single M or male. Some patients are missing the blood glucose level, so whenever we have an empty string, that means the data is missing, and for those patients we will return not a number for their glucose levels. And what we will also do is, if when the gender is given, we will return the average glucose level for that gender among the patients. Okay. So this is the example data, example input. The first patient is a female with blood glucose levels 100. The second patient is male with blood glucose level 200. Fourth patient is missing the blood glucose levels. Okay. So let's say edit glucose levels, and then function RET equals glucose levels, and let's say data. Okay, so data is right now a cell array. So first, let's take a look at the first column and make sure that all the gender information is standard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do str compare with the first column in the data and compare it with female. Okay? And all the entries that have female, I will convert them to male. Or let's say we don't even need to compare them. Let me change the name of this thing to raw, because I want to have another variable that has the actual numerical numbers, numerical values. So this is where the females are located. This will give me the locations in the data where I have female written, but I need to repeat this and say or. It's a single F. And let me call this I female. So I female variable will contain a logical vector that will have the same size as the number of rows in raw variable, and will have a true whenever the entry is female or a single F. Okay? Let's do I male equals male male. If you assume that everybody has is either given male or female, you can also say I male equals not I female. Okay, that's another option. All right, now the second column may contain missing values. So let's go over this. For I equals 1 to size raw 1. Using logical vectors is one way of doing this function. Another way is to do a for loop. So let's do the for loop now. Let's say row equals raw ith row. Okay, so I'm taking the ith row from the raw data. If str compare row 1, the first value in that row is female, or it's just an F. Let's replace it with 1. Otherwise, let's replace it with 0. Okay. Actually, let's handle the case where the first column is neither M or male. 0. Otherwise, we'll set another number. Okay. Let me get rid of this because we are doing it for loop way. and row 1. Okay, so that takes care of the male-female values. Now, for the second value, we just need to take str to none, or let's say str to double, and convert this given string to a numerical value. Okay? So str to double function takes a string and returns you a double value. If the string is not a number, then you get another number as a result. Or if it's empty, you again will get it, not a number. Okay? All right, so now we have that row. We'll put it back in the raw data matrix. Raw I throw all columns equals row. Okay, so at this point, the raw cell array will contain only numbers. Let me put a breakpoint here, or let's say display raw. Let me go back to the example data and say glucose levels that. Okay, so we get a cell array of numbers. It's more convenient to have a numerical matrix. So let's, instead of converting everything within the cell array, let's do that in a numerical matrix. Let's call it zeros, and it will have the same size as the raw matrix. Now, instead of putting the row back into raw, I'll just do data I throw first entry is going to be row 1. And data I2 is going to be row 2. Okay. There's also another option. Let me store this m equals answer above. What did I get? Nope. So if you have a cell array of numbers, you can also call cell to mat function that will convert the cell array to a numerical matrix. So we could have also used that. Okay. So let's display data and see that we have a numerical matrix. And we do. Okay. Now the question is also asking us to find the average glucose levels for a certain gender. Let's call that gender. And if str compare gender, let's just look at the first character of it, equals f, then we will select all the rows that have the first column, where the first column contains a 1. Otherwise, let's pick all the rows that have the first column a value of 0. Equals 0, equals 1. So that I is a logical vector. It will contain true for the patients of interest. And then we will just extract from data all of the second columns for those patients that we are interested in. And then take the average blood glucose levels and return that from this function. Okay. We need to say f here. We get another number. Okay. So the problem here is that some of the entries had not the numbers in them. So we need to not take those into consideration. So in addition to I, we need to say I equals I and not is not a number, data 1. So we are interested in, let's say, females, but we also want the second column to not be another number. So we are ANDing two logical vectors together. As a result, we will get females that have a blood glucose level in there. So we are filtering out the rows that have not a number at the blood glucose column. Okay. So now we are getting 110. So we had 3 females with 100, 120, and blank. So that's not a number. If you don't filter out not a numbers, the average will be not a number. After filtering it out, we get the average of 100 and 120, which is 110. Okay. So this question is about for loops, making string comparisons, and indexing your cell array in a way that you get the data that you are interested in. All right? Any questions? Okay. All right. If not, that's going to be it from me for now.